Hi guys, 2 seconds, I'll just close the door. Sorry, we had a slight IT issue. We can only find one router from the old house, so Ella would have had no internet in her bedroom, and obviously we know what a disaster that can be for a 16-year-old. But we're sorted for now. I'm just sorry, let me just close this. Dan, just pull that thing to a minute, please. Thanks. Right, okay. Good evening. Oh my God, you never have to thank me. You know that this is a topic I can talk on like all day, all night. Hey, Donna. Right, so earlier on, we were chatting, Caroline, myself, Wendy and Emma, and we were talking about vision boards. And what I want to talk to you about tonight is vision boards. Hey, Claire. But like vision in general, like vision and hang on, that phone looks a bit, that's it, I'm just going to do it. Like vision boards and like vision in general and how you view your business, how you view your future with Scentsy, what you actually believe is possible with Scentsy, like for yourself, and the skills and like systems almost that I've put in place or that I don't think I would call them systems. Sorry, that felt a bit wonky. I don't think I would call them systems, but like the skills that I've learned over the last 7 years, and not just me, like a lot of people around me, a lot of successful business owners. I've done a lot of training since I've been with Scentsy externally. So I've done a couple of online business development courses. I've done a couple of like actually go to, you know, business events. Nothing to do with Scentsy, just like from an entrepreneurial perspective. And one of the themes that always runs through all of them is not only setting goals, but understanding like your subconscious mind and what you can do to, I'm trying to be really like concise because I'm not claiming to know like the science behind this, but what I am claiming to know is that for me personally, like this stuff works. This stuff works and keeps me on track and has kept me on track. Do you know who's a really good person to follow for this? Is No Hibbert. No Hibbert's totally in her books, in her trainings, like totally articulates it absolutely perfectly. And I guess you could say it's like manifestation, and people talk about manifestation, and I think manifestation is really, really misunderstood. Manifestation is not just saying, I'm going to achieve X, Y, Z, and then the universe is just going to give it to you. You certainly have to put the work in to make it happen. It's not exclusive that you just go, you know, I don't know, I'm just picking one of the things off my vision board. I want to go to Florida, or I want to buy a caravan, or whatever it may be. They were some of the ones on mine, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. You can't just say that and say, oh, the universe is going to give it to me. You have to back it up with action. But doing these things and saying these things and being intentional and putting things into your conscious mind, but also your subconscious mind, builds that resilience and builds that focus, and therefore makes you take the action to make those things happen. So I'm going to come onto my vision board in a minute. But the first thing I want to talk to you about is something that I do every single day. Like every single day, no matter where I am in the world, no matter what I'm doing, whether I've got a whole hour to sit and do this with a coffee or whether I've got 15 minutes. So like this morning, for example, I was up in the night. I got up later than I normally do. I literally had like 15 minutes to like chuck my gym gear on and make a coffee, but I still did this morning. I didn't read this morning, but I still did this. So every single day, and this is just one of, I have got loads and loads and loads of journals that are full. And I'm not saying you have to do this to this degree every single day. This is just what I do, and something that has worked for me and something that I've learned about over time. Some people do it before they go to bed. Some people might just say it in the mirror. Some people, but for me, I actually like the action of like writing something down. And every single day, I'm obviously not going to show you my personal things that are in my journal, but I'm going to show you the setup. So if I just flick through, you'll see these are the ones that are filled in every single day. But what the prompts are in my journal are, so you put the date and then it'll give you like a little positive quote, and then it will say, I am grateful for, and it gives you 3 lines that you're grateful for. What would make today great? So 3 things that would make that day great. So I apply them to my life, to my business. And then daily affirmations, like things that you want to say. And I'll be honest, one of the things I write on there every single day is, I will only focus on what I can control. I'll show you. I don't mind showing you that bit. Some of the things in here are obviously highly personal, but if I cover some of that up at the top, it basically says here, I am strong. I will only ever focus on what I can control. I am in control of my actions and my efforts. So every single morning, I intentionally take 10 minutes to say what I'm grateful for, to say 3 things that are going to make that day great, and then daily affirmations. And most recently, it has always been, I am strong. I will only ever focus on what I can control. I am in control of my actions and my efforts. Exactly the same as you are in control every single day of your actions and your efforts. You are in control of the action and the effort that you put into your business. You are in control of the action and the effort that you put into your relationships. You are in control of setting your boundaries. You are in control of who you let into your life. You are in control of how you respond to situations. It doesn't mean everything's always going to be perfect. It doesn't mean that certain situations aren't going to arise, that you might have to take a massive deep breath and just pause for a minute and think about how you respond. But the facts are, you are always in control. And when you start to do these things consistently, day after day after day after day, and I'm not exaggerating when I say it, I've got like so many of these journals filled in drawers, and I'll never throw them away. I will never ever throw them away, because I like to look back at them every now and again for like a point of reference. And this is what I'm going to come over to this board in a minute. But there's something about the actual intentional action of writing. Just think about it. Just think about it in like a logical sense, okay? You kind of get up, you get up, you know, you make your coffee, you might stub your toe on your kitchen side, and then you're like, oh, for God's sake, and then, you know, oh, it's raining, and think about it that way. So you're just kind of getting up and like meandering through your morning and letting things happen to you and have an effect on you. But if you just take that time in the before your day even starts and say to yourself, right, I'm just going to take 5 minutes, a little bit of quiet. I'm going to look at what I'm grateful for, and I'm going to set myself some like affirmations, and then just think about that. And when you're in that tired morning state, you literally set yourself up for the day by saying to yourself, I am in control. I am in control of my actions and efforts, and I will only ever focus on what I can control. By saying that, it just sets you up, like it just sets you up in the right mindset for the day. So that's something I just wanted to talk about first of all. I'm not saying you have to do that every single day. You might want to get up and stand in your bathroom mirror and say to yourself 5 times, hang on, where's my, I haven't got all my books out. They're in the garage. But Mel Robbins, the 5, what's it called? The 5, it's not 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There's the 5 something habit. I can't remember what it's called. But basically, that's what that is. She writes about putting your hands, the high 5 roll, that's it. That's what it's called. Putting your hand up in your bathroom mirror every single morning when you get up, putting your hand up in your bathroom mirror and like affirming to yourself things about your day, things that you are going to focus on in your day, affirming to yourself, I am strong, I am powerful, I am capable, whatever it may be. But that's just, there's no coincidence here. Like when you look at successful people, success leaves clues. I love that saying. Like the way I looked at it is when I wanted to have success in my business, I looked at other successful entrepreneurs. I literally am a sponge for knowledge. I want to learn. I want to learn what they do. I want to learn. And this hasn't just changed my Scentsy business, guys. Like, this has changed my whole life. My whole life. It has changed my relationships. It has changed with how I deal with conflict. It's changed how I deal with hard times. It's certainly changed how I deal with when we got Finley's autism diagnosis. It's changed the relationships that are in my life. There are some relationships in my life now that are no longer there because they were not serving me, because they were absolutely toxic. I guarantee, like that Will Smith thing, the prerequisite for spending time with any given person should be that they enrich you and you leave them feeling better. If there are all right, I'm working.
Oh, sorry.
Under here.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Hi, live.
Go on. The prerequisite for spending time with any given person is, you know, that they should enrich you and that you should feel better after spending time with them. If you have relationships in your life that you come away from and you feel drained and you feel like crap, basically, why are you still spending time with them? And I mean that in the nicest possible way. This is the only life we are ever going to get on this planet. And going this deep, I am so strict on my boundaries. I am so strict on where I give my energy. I am so strict. People can live their life however they want to. And so can I. And so can you. So when I want to talk to you about vision and where you want your business to go and where you want your life to go, like, you are in control of all that, whether you realise it or not. And for me, I was like, right, well, this is how deep I go. When I wanted my Scentsy business to grow and my life as an entrepreneur to grow, like, I wanted it to be enriched in every single area. So I'm certainly not going to be spending time with people that make me feel like crap and put me down and, you know, make me question myself, don't support my dreams. I am so selective where my time goes now. And I would, honestly, it will make, once you start working on yourself to this level, it makes you, like, assess your worth. It makes you assess everything in your life, and you just deserve a life that's enriched and fulfilled and has all these wonderful things in there. My life has changed tenfold since I started doing this and set my alarm early to do it before I do anything else. And honestly, it is, Katrina, honestly, I know you know this, but it is the most powerful thing. I've touched on this for a few years, but probably, when did we move into the house in Holbridge? So when I did the James of L course, so probably 3 years ago, just before lockdown, I don't remember when lockdown was now, but 3 or 4 years ago, I started doing this religiously. Like, and people say to me, like, oh, I don't know how you get up so early. It is my absolute best time of day. Obviously not best time of day is like when I'm spending time with my family and all those type of things, but it is literally, the house is silent. I got up at 5 o'clock every single day. Today I got up at 5:15. But the house is, and you can carve out that time in your day whenever that looks like for you. But honestly, and exactly like Katrina says, this has changed my life. And because it's 10 minutes or half an hour, I love it when I get up and I've got like a full 45 minutes. Like, that's when I'll like fill this in, have a coffee, set my goals, set my intentions for the day, read a few pages of a book, the house is silent, I can have a cup of coffee, and it just gets my mind in the right frame of mind before anyone else needs me, before I go and answer any messages. Don't get up and start scrolling your phone. It is literally the worst thing you can do for your mindset. The worst. You're in control of when you go to your inbox. You're in control of when you answer your messages. Like, I have no notifications on my screen. On my home screen, on my phone, clear as crystal. All my notifications are off. Anyone that is important to me in my life has my phone number, and if it is an emergency, they will ring me. So I go into my WhatsApp when I'm ready to look at my messages. I go into my Messenger when I'm ready to look at my messages. If you are constantly having notifications ping up all the time, you are living your life on somebody else's schedule. You need to start living your life on your schedule. Again, just another tip I learned from a business development course that I did. And again, it's life-changing, because then you're not constantly going, oh, I've got to do that, I've got to do that, I've got to do that. No. This is your life. You reply to messages on your time, because then you're setting boundaries. Right, okay. I'm going to put these on because I feel like my eyes are going blurry, and it's going to reflect, isn't it? So that's just, I can't because it's reflecting on my light. Yes, I'm going to talk to you about vision boards, but I wanted to talk to you about like vision in general, the bigger picture. You know, understanding that your business, if you work on yourself as a human being as a whole, that is going to have a definitive impact on your business and on every other area of your life. If you don't go inward and really think about what's important to you and really think about what you want, then how are you ever going to get it? Okay. This is what I want to talk to you about. Some of you will have, well, this is what Caroline actually messaged me and said, can you come on please and talk about your vision board? So, some people, some of you will have seen this before. Some of you will have seen this many times before. Some people like to do vision boards with pictures. I wrote this before we had Finlay, when we were in our very first house that we ever bought, which was in, it was, oh God, I can't even think what year. It's really bad, isn't it? My brain's just a fog. But I was still teaching my fitness classes. I even wrote this before. Did I write this before I started? Yeah, I wrote this before I started with Scentsy, okay? I wrote this when I was with my previous... No, it can't be because it says Superstar Director on it. I must have had another one. No. Right, this is what happened. I remember. I had another one of these boards, and obviously some of it was relevant to that company. So when I joined Scentsy, I literally bought the same board and I copied it all over, apart from I changed a couple of things that were like relevant to, instead of just like, I wanted a whole fresh new one. So I wrote this when I very, very, very first started with Scentsy. We were living in the first house that we ever bought, which was built in 1963 and had never been, just to like paint you a little picture of this house. It was built in 1963 and it had never been touched. So you can imagine what the kitchen looked like, what the bathroom looked like. Not to get the violins out, or, you know, just to give some of you a bit of a backstory. We didn't buy our first house till what some may class as a little bit later in life. We used to have, like when I met Dan, horrific credit scores and struggled to even rent a house years ago. I'm just being completely transparent with you. We were in a very, very different situation to... So put it this way, like even owning our own home once upon a time, like completely, I thought was never going to happen, okay? So we had managed to buy our first home, but it was old. It was old. And to keep us in the area that we were in where we are now, we had bought our first house, but it was old. So the only way to keep us in the area that we were in was to buy that house. And oh my goodness me, did that take some work. But we did a lot of it ourselves. Dan literally, pretty much, apart from the worktops, tiled the whole kitchen watching YouTube videos. We painted every room ourselves. My friend's dad came and fitted the most basic bathroom suite for us, but we did the rest. Dan tiled the bathroom. He's not a tiler. And we painted the rest of it. It was literally, we used to call it like the house that Dan and Laura built. It was, we didn't have the means at the time to get in all these tradesmen to do all them extra bits. Like we got in what we absolutely couldn't do ourselves, but everything else we pretty much did ourselves. So that's just to paint a bit of a picture of where we were. So we were literally, when people say they haven't got time to work their Scentsy business, I literally want to shake them and go, no. When I started with Scentsy, we had 2 children, we had a dog. Dan worked 6 days a week, sometimes 7 days a week in a car dealership. He used to leave at 7 o'clock in the morning and he used to get home at 8 o'clock at night, sometimes a little bit earlier. He got 1 day off in the week. So we literally never saw him. He was at work like all the time. I was every single day, either in a morning or in an evening, I was teaching a fitness class. I also worked as a midday assistant in the children's school. And I also, some evenings and on a Sunday from 12 to close, used to waitress in a restaurant. So again, we were completely like ships that passed. I'm going to put that down for a minute. We were completely like ships that passed in the night. So that's just to paint the little scene of where we were when I started my Scentsy business. So our plates were very, very, very full. Very full. So when I said I was starting, I'd come away from a previous direct sales business. And when I said I was starting another network marketing business, you can imagine Dan's reaction. He was like, Laura, we haven't got £85. And I was like, and I literally remember ringing him and going, don't worry, it's going to be okay. And we literally, if you looked at our schedule, I didn't have the time to run a Scentsy business, but I found the time. I made the time. I worked in my pockets of time. I was literally, if I wasn't waitressing, I was partying. That's what I was doing. So, but at the beginning, I wrote this vision board and I looked at this, and this was up in my kitchen every single day. Every single day for 5 years. Every single day for 5 years, I would come downstairs and I would make my coffee. And this, I'll be honest, this was before I was journaling on a morning. I wasn't doing that in the beginning. But I would come downstairs and I would make my coffee and I would look at this. This was up in my kitchen every single day. We did move from that house, and we did move to a different house, and then it went on the wall in that kitchen as well. But I put this on my kitchen wall and I looked at it every single day. And I put it where my kids could see it as well. And what I put on here was a static caravan, because that was like one of my huge life goals. A new kitchen. Well, we ended up moving and buying a new house. So that obviously was the new kitchen. A loft conversion. We ended up moving and buying a new house. So we didn't need the loft conversion. Back to Florida with Finley. Now I added this on, obviously later on, because we by then had Finley. That is booked for 2025. It was booked a couple of years ago until we discovered he was autistic. So we've decided to push that back. So that is happening. And Superstar Director. Now, they were actually like all tangible, actionable, like things that I wanted to earn. And please understand, when I'm sharing this with you, I'm not sharing it with you to go like, oh, look at what I've done. But I'm sharing it with you to say, I literally looked at these things every single day and they all came true. Because I worked really flipping hard. They didn't just come true because I put them on a blackboard and put them up in my kitchen and then just didn't do anything and they just happened. But having them up in front of me every single day to look at them, on the days when I was tired, on the days when I could have said, oh, I can't be bothered, on the days when I could have said, oh, that person said no, on the days, on those days, having something like this up in front of you to look at every single day will keep you driven, will keep you, I'm not going to say motivated, but will keep you disciplined, will remind you why you are doing it, okay? So this is why I'm a huge believer in vision and having things in your sight. And it's also why, I haven't got them, they're obviously normally on the wall, but I've got them here. It's also why I have these things framed that I can have in front of me, that when we've unpacked, obviously I've only unpacked minimal things in this house, but, gratitude. Gratitude helps us to see what is there instead of what isn't. I have that in front of me every day to remind me. The circle of control. Have that in front of me so it reminds me. So it keeps your mind on track and keeps you focused. Visualization and visuals are so, so powerful. Okay, so they were actually like actionable, tangible things. The other things that I had up every single day, and I still, like I said, this is in here as well. Daily, and I have this up to like remind me. Okay, I have this up to remind me. Daily goals for all. Find happiness in every day. Work hard. Be grateful. Don't worry about unimportant issues. Be present. Live in the moment. And never stop dreaming. Obviously, you've got to have a bit of Walt Disney in there. And all of our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. And this one, super important. Be kind. Always. Now, I literally had that up and still have that up every single day to look at, to remind me, like, the most important things. Now, I know all them things at the top have been achieved, and in a way, you could say, like, oh, I need to write another one. But my goals now are to help you guys achieve your goals. Like, I'm not saying I don't have life goals. I do. And I probably do need to write another one. But I have it in here. So these ones are important. These daily goals, it's so important to build a life where you are being your authentic self and you are showing up as the person that you want to be. And sometimes you might need a reminder as to how you want to show up in the world. So having these things to remind you every day is really, really, like, super powerful. So when Caroline asked me about that, so drop me in the comments below if you've ever made a vision board. If you're still with me, if you're still listening, if you're still here, let me know in the comments below if you've ever made a vision board. I know you have, Katrina, because I've seen it. Or if you haven't, I would absolutely encourage you to do one. I would urge you to do one, whether you want to do it as a written one like I did, whether you want to do it with pictures. Some people put it as their screensaver on their phone. Don't ask me how this stuff works, but I'm telling you now, visualization and actually taking the time to really think about what you want, what you really, really, really want to achieve, and having it in your visual every single day to look at will keep you driven, will keep you motivated. On the days where, you think, oh, is this for me? You absolutely can do it. This isn't just stuff I've plucked out of the sky. This is like things I've lived my life by, and I've learned from other successful people things that they have done, and I'm like, right, well, I'm going to give that a try. It's not going to look exactly the same for everybody. Some people, like I said, it might be on your phone, it might be with pictures, it might be words. I haven't made a vision board, but I use a gratitude. I use to script, and I need to start that again. That's what I mean. Whatever works for the individual, but some kind of, like, getting it out of your brain and getting it down somewhere that you can then look at and refer back to is really, really powerful. And think about it in this way, like, if you don't know where you're going, like, how are you ever going to get there? But yeah, I just thought I have always thought it is, like, really, really powerful. And when Caroline said, like, would you mind coming on and talk about it? I was like, absolutely. Like, I could talk about this topic till the cows come home. So I hope this was helpful. I would love to see. So obviously, for the purpose of this group, this is Leap to Lead, okay? If you are a certified consultant, you need to believe that you can hit lead consultant. You need to visualize yourself, like, sponsoring, having a team, growing. If you don't, because if you don't believe in it, no one else is ever going to believe in it. If you don't believe in, the business, in yourself, in the products, nobody else is ever going to believe in it. I have a picture collage on my screensaver. So when I open my phone, I always look at it. Love that. Whatever works. It's about being intentional, and it's about seeing it every single day. Right, guys. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm just going to get a drink of water. I'm going to go, but I hope this was helpful. And I'd love to see them. I'd love to see your vision boards. If when you've made one, whether it's on your phone, whether it's on a board, whether it's in a scrapbook, whatever it is, I'd love to see you sharing them in the group, because honestly, they are so, so powerful. I hope this was helpful. I'm going to go because I'm actually just going to help my new teamie get all signed up properly and get a kick started this evening. But I hope this was helpful, and I cannot wait to see your vision boards and hear your success stories. Right, guys, I'll speak to you soon.